Greetings and welcome, travelers. Why don't you pull up a chair and share a cup while the lamplight still keeps the darkness at bay? Who knows just what might be lurking in the shadows? The season of haunting is upon us once again, my fellow adventurers. Lend me your attention, for I possess here a rare tome of gruesome lore, and I am prepared to share with you 10 selections drawn from the depths of terror and madness.
Dungeons and Dragons, Monsters of Horror. Gargoyle.
Often featured in Gothic architecture, the gargoyle is a grotesque monster that can take on a statue-like composition. While in its stony form, its body becomes hard and resistant to attacks. Some believe that gargoyles turn into statues during the day, while others believe they can change forms at will. Lore also tells of rituals which can be used to summon gargoyles to serve as guardians or killers. Do they come from an ancient realm of elemental earth, or a nightmarish land of shadows? Either way, the next time you pass by a cathedral or crypt and see one of these fiends scowling at you, beware, for it may just be watching you. Flesh Golem. At first glance, this creature may appear as an undead. However, the Flesh Golem is actually a macabre creation of grim artificers and mad alchemists. These shambling hulks are composed of parts taken from recently deceased bodies and given animation through equal parts science and secret magic. The Golem is an incredibly dim-witted brute, and its creator wields control over the thing, but there are proven cases in which the construct has gone berserk while under strain. A flesh golem is tremendously powerful, and a magic user who ventures into the grisly work of creating one must take care. Bodies of the recently dead must be gathered in secret. A laboratory in which to perform the ghastly operations, as well, must be secluded and secure, and once the monster is given final animation, any sane, law-abiding community would be in a complete uproar if the golem's existence was made public. Skeleton. What sort of threat could an old pile of bones possibly pose? A grave threat, indeed, if introduced to the dark power of necromancy. Skeletons of humanoids, animals, and more have been reanimated for centuries by those who study the forbidden arts of undeath. Skeletal minions are relatively low-powered and mindless, but they have a host of benefits for their overlord. They need no pay, no rest, no food nor drink. They have no interests nor whims. They exist for the sole purpose of obeying commands to slay. There are many varieties of skeletons for those who wish to research deep enough into the annals of necromantic lore, from childhood horrors to four-armed tomb guardians to flaming skeletons for those with a pyromantic slant. So the next time you hear the creak and clatter of bones, you better run, or be prepared to fight against the gaunt, skeletal legions who fight with sheer disregard for their own well-being. It is said that there are few things more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose, but a dead man with nothing to lose, why, that is something else entirely.
Brain in a jar.
While searching through the laboratory of some misbegotten dungeon, you spot a sinister-styled jar, well sealed and armored. Floating within the liquid inside is a perfectly preserved brain. What madness is this? Then the thing begins speaking to you telepathically. The deranged voice inside your mind whispers fell orders. You fight against the mental assault, lest you become a twisted servant of this most bizarre and rare undead entity. The struggle of wills inside your head stabs at you with psychic pain. If you are lucky, you pull through and bash at the thing with a warhammer over and over until you spill the repulsive contents and put an end to such blasphemous perversion of existence. If you are not so lucky, who can imagine what tasks such a master will set you to?
Rot Grub.
You peer through the dim of the dungeon chamber, your torchlight revealing a pile of corpses in front of you. Then you hear it, the sound of wriggling things. From the cadavers and shadows comes a swarm of squirming, slimy, maggot-like grubs. You yell to your fellow adventurers, for you have just stumbled upon an infestation of rot grubs. This disgusting vermin has an insatiable hunger, and it seeks to devour flesh and organs, living or dead. And, as if it weren't enough for these voracious worms to want to eat you alive, there is always a chance that a rot grub victim will rise as an undead. This zombie-like monstrosity will appear badly wounded. It attacks with wild, flailing limbs and savage bites. The thing's attacks risks exposing you to being infected by the wormy parasites. And should you slay the undead, be prepared for the swarm to come at you, endlessly crawling in an attempt to consume.
Mean Locke.
Many a folk tale has been told which speaks of things that live under the ground, from gnomes and kobolds to monstrous worms. One little-known monster is perhaps the worst of all, the Mean Locke. These insane and deformed beings wield supernatural psychic power which hails from some outer realm beyond the grasp of mortals. They dig tunnels up from their lairs in the deep black depths. They have been known to appear in cellars and under floorboards, especially in homes built on the edge of a settlement. One story tells of a woodsman who came home to his cottage one day to find his wife and children in a strange trance, crawling into a cramped tunnel which had erupted from the floor in their cellar. He screamed and tried pulling them back, but it was too late. Their eyes had already transformed into glossy orbs, and their skin was becoming foul and mottled. They crawled onward, compelled to seek some new home far below the sane world above.
Bearded Devil.
The denizens of hell, or the Nine Hells, as some know it, are beings of corruption, sadism, and malevolence. The bearded devil is referred to as Barbazu in its native infernal tongue. It is a powerful and aggressive monster that serves as fiendish warriors. They are among the more savage of devils, often employed by powerful masterminds. Their sheer love of slaughter and terror truly makes them a monster of horror. The signature weapon of a bearded devil is its jagged-toothed glaive, which the creature wields with wicked glee. The blade's vicious edges are employed with strikes that cause festering, bleeding wounds. And should you get closer to the fiend, its beard of snake-like tendrils awaits to bite and poison you. Scarecrow. You pass by an eerie scarecrow in a field on a gray, misty autumn evening. Out of the corner of your eye, you swear you see it move ever so slightly. Could it merely be your mind playing tricks on you? Surely this is nothing more than straw and sackcloth, posted to ward off pesky birds. Or is it? You have heard stories of rituals that employ witchcraft or fey magic in order to animate scarecrows. While some turn out to be little more than shambling guardians who fall apart after one good strike, others are made tough and even spry through the weird magic that enchants them. If you plan to intrude upon such a foe, you'd better bring a torch or know a fire spell. Scarecrows are odd combatants, able to evade attacks by twisting their gaunt forms at impossible angles and absorbing blows with their cushioned torsos. They also have been known to haunt the minds of their adversaries through a strange fear magic.
Gremlin.
Have you ever had a string of bad luck, and you swear someone is sadistically toying with you? Well, you may think some witch has cast a curse of misfortune upon you, but there is another possibility. A gremlin. These frightful little creatures love to wreak havoc and spread chaos. It is said that the first gremlins were created by an evil fey king who lived in a deep cave. He took a band of goblins and cast a powerful curse upon them, which twisted and brought out wild, destructive instincts and a passion for perilous trickery. The least powerful gremlins cause maladies such as broken limbs and missing items. However, the worst and most skilled gremlin ever is rumored to have brought the downfall of an entire royal family by framing them for murder and high theft against other powerful nobles.
Mummy.
Within the tombs of the hot, arid lands to the south stand silent, centuries-old guardians. Mummies are created through ritualistic combinations of bodily preservation techniques and necromantic magic. Their purpose is to watch over and guard burial grounds of long-dead leaders. Warlords, desert kings, and even liches have been but a few of the masters that mummies dutifully protect. The mere sight of a mummy is often enough to paralyze an explorer with a mysterious fear. In combat, the undead sentinel shambles close enough to strike with its supernaturally strong hands. The slam of a mummy's palm or its choking grip around your neck is dangerous enough, but the worst affliction that the thing wields is a deadly curse known as mummy rot. If you survive an encounter with a mummy, you may still perish to this horrid hex that will cause you to wither away until nothing remains but a small pile of ashen sand that scatters in the wind. Well, my bold and curious wanderers of the wilds, I believe I have told you quite enough for now. I hope these chilling legends stick with you, so that if you ever come across such threats in your travels, you are well equipped to walk away with all of your limbs still intact and completely free of horrific dooms. Look, the lamp burns low. I must go for now. The night calls me back to my chambers for rest and security. It has been a pleasure confabulating with you. Farewell.